God damn, that is a good Mai Tai. Oh my freaking God. I'm really drooling. My name is Leandro Demon Riva. This is The Educated Barfly. You should smile more. Let's get into making the cocktail. Arguably, the Mai Tai is probably the most famous tiki and tropical drink. And I say that because it is one of those rare cocktails, well, one of those rare tiki cocktails that sort of transcended the sort of tropical drinks movement and then made a jump to regular bars. Pretty much every single cocktail bar has its own version of a Mai Tai. It is that popular. So today we thought it would be really fun to take 4 recipes from top bartenders and compare them to see who will be the reigning champ of the Mai Tai. So the first Mai Tai that we're gonna be tackling today is from a New York City bartender, Garreth Richards, who actually started his, adulting career as a radio producer and then traded in the mixing board for mixing cocktails. He's worked at Existing Conditions with Dave Arnold and Don Lee, and then also he's been at Rain City Law Room. He has created a really fantastic career around reconstructing old tiki recipes, taking those very problematic recipes and turning them into works of craft cocktail genius. You guys can feel free to sub out the ingredients with whatever you want, but just know that when you do that, you're gonna have a very different drink. So I went to the ends of the earth to come up with all of the actual ingredients that are specified in each one. Sometimes a recipe doesn't specify a specific rum, but when it does, and just given rum's nature, we are using that exact rum. I can give you guys links on where I got everything. That's my little disclaimer. First things first, you need a tin. And then we're gonna do this guy, but we're actually going to use the spent shell. So we're gonna do it with a hand juicer, not with my usual big hand juicer. And I'm also gonna do it this way so I can get that nice shell for the garnish. One ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of the Clément Créole Shrubb, 1/4 ounce of Grand Marnier, 3/4 ounce of Coruba Dark Rum, 1.5 ounces of Denizens Merchant's Reserve. Do not want to forget our saline solution. This is a 1 to 5 saline solution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops. So this is the Latitude 29 Beach Bum Berry Orgeat, which is called for specifically in this recipe. This was like 17 bucks and then it was like $12 of shipping. So it was like $29. I'm hoping that this is earth-shatteringly good. So 3/4 ounce of the Latitude 29 Orgeat. Scoop in our little skosh of pebble ice like so. Give it a whip shake until it all dissolves, or mostly. Dump it in here. Give it a slap. Give it the old crushy pants. I'm just gonna work that in right here. The original garnish for this is a lime husk to represent an island, and then you've got the mint that represents the palm tree, and then we're just gonna put a little orchid here, grab a straw. I like to put it right in the mint like that, so when you drink it, you're smelling all that good mint from all those oils that you released. All right, let's take a sip. That is a fantastic Mai Tai, oh my God. So vibrant and flavorful, so well balanced too. I kind of want to taste this on its own. There's these Italian cookies that I had when I was a kid that had like a almond paste on the inside of it. And that is exactly what this smells like. I mean, I'm gonna have to just taste
Does it smell like those, what is it, the bear claws, whatever? That's got that almond
like a bear claw, yeah, exactly like a bear claw. I'm not sure what they do to a bear claw to make it taste that way, but it's not just the almond. It's almond plus sugar plus something else. And I've tasted a lot of Orgeat in my time, and not all Orgeat tastes like that too. So there's a very particular flavor that really comes through very nicely in here. Then you also have the Grand Marnier, which has that very nice orange, but sort of aged kind of feel to it. You can tell that it's made with cognac. And then you have the Clément Shrubb as well that's kind of providing that orange kick. So you have that nice balance in there. So the orange flavors are a little more complex in there. And then the rum comes through really nicely. I haven't actually tasted the Denizen on its own. Oh, that is nice. So I would say that that is also just like a very nice aged kind of feel to it. It's a little bit sweeter on the palate. The Coruba is kind of bringing in that Jamaican rum kind of funk to it. It's really, really nicely balanced and one of the best Mai Tais I think I've ever had. I mean, just so good. It's so vibrant in flavor. It's like the flavors burst into your mouth. All right, we're gonna get on to the next one. All right, so the very next cocktail we're gonna be doing is the Mai Tai from the Nomad Hotel. The Nomad Hotel is helmed by Leo Robitscheck. He has gone on to win many awards just for being a great bartender, and then also his bars have won many awards. And I believe that the Nomad in New York, which is closed at the moment and maybe permanently, is on the 50 best bars in the world list as well. We are gonna be doing that cocktail. So, first thing we're gonna do is put a lime, not drop it, put a lime wedge without squeezing it into the tin. So 1 ounce of lime juice. Then we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of Orgeat. Now, this recipe didn't call for any specific Orgeat. I didn't call for any house Orgeat, so I'm just using this Orgeat that I normally use in the drink. 3/4 of an ounce, like so. 1/2 ounce of Créole Shrubb. 1/2 ounce of Rhum Agricole. 3/4 of an ounce of Appleton Signature. And 3/4 of an ounce of Eldorado 15. This is gonna be done a little differently than most Mai Tais because what we're gonna do is shake it with regular ice and then we're gonna strain it over pebble ice. Do you know why, Marius? Do you have any idea why we're gonna do that?
Yeah, because when you're muddling or it's got that piece in there.
Right, so instead of muddling it with a muddler, we're gonna use the ice to basically release the oils from the peel. Now, I don't know why they do it this way because I would give it a little muddle and then 3/4 lime or a little, like a fat 3/4 lime so that you got that 1 ounce total, but you got the oils in there. I don't know how much the ice is going to release the oil from the peel because it didn't do that well with mint, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Based on the mint video, that it's not going to do anything.
But this is how they do it. And so I want to faithfully recreate this drink the way they do it the Nomad. This is the way they do it apparently. Add in our ice. I'm actually going to use a little bit bigger pieces to see if I can't get more of a muddle. Give it a nice shake. Let's shake it hard. Ooh, got a good seal on that. I'm gonna shake it really hard. I can't smile while I do this because it's too hard. Pretty simple, but mint, which is traditional. I don't like putting wedges like this because people want to squeeze it in. They think, oh, it needs more lime juice. Don't squeeze it. I don't know. This is just how I saw it garnished. This guy, like so. I don't know if I like it. I'm getting rid of that lime wedge. I don't like it. We'll just garnish it simply like that. Very nicely balanced. This one definitely has a little bit more tartness to it. So it is light in the sugar. The Orgeat is not as sweet. There's not as much sugar. I'm thinking it's the difference between, and I don't know this for a fact, the Latitude 29 Orgeat is 2-to-1, but it seems like it's 2-to-1. So it has a really robust lime flavor. And I'm thinking that the ice probably muddled a little of the oils because I'm getting that really very intense lime flavor in here. It is a very nice mixture of rums. Although I gotta say, well, it's not true. I was gonna say that maybe the Rhum Agricole was getting a little bit lost, but it's not. It is actually in there. You still get that sort of kind of delicate Rhum Agricole flavor. The Jamaican rum also plays like a pretty nice part in this as well. I'd have to taste this on its own. Oh, so okay. Ooh, so that Demerara rum is providing a bunch of body in the cocktail, but then also a really nice dark sugar, molassesy, almost like burnt sugar kind of flavor to it. And it's very, very good. Completely different style. It's kind of hard to stack this up against the last one because this one is a completely different style. It's like a whole different idea of what a Mai Tai should be. And it's really, really, really centered on the citrusiness. A little hint of orange and then the kind of the combination of rum. The combination of rums is fantastic in this drink though. I gotta say, it is really good. So the next Mai Tai we're doing is from Maison Premier in New York City. I am sure they make a fantastic Mai Tai. So we're gonna do 1 ounce of lime juice. I spill a little in there. 3/4 Orgeat. 1 ounce Rhum Agricole. 1/2 ounce dry curacao. They didn't call out any specific brands, which I always appreciate when a restaurant or a bartender does. So I just kind of equated all of the different categories with my own stuff. So it's really up to you what you want to use. Obviously, I'll be tasting through this flavor profile. We're doing 1/2 ounce of our aged rum. 1/4 ounce of overproof Jamaican rum. We're using Smith & Cross for this one. And 1/4 ounce of blackstrap rum. Give it the old whipper. All right, let's give it a taste. Ooh, yeah, man, that is good. A lot of complexity from those rums. And you know, I gotta say, that blackstrap rum really gives it like this dark, burnt sugar to it. It's got a lot of body because of it. Feeling a little bit of heat, even from that little amount of Smith & Cross. The Denizen is incredibly flavorful as well. And then you're also getting those Rhum Agricole notes. It's a really nice rum blend. Really, really tasty. So for our very last Mai Tai, we're going to be doing the Smugglers Cove Mai Tai. I don't know if anyone really needs me to introduce Martin Cate. He's pretty famous these days, but he is the owner and operator of Smugglers Cove, obviously. Just looking at the specs of the Smugglers Cove Mai Tai, they do a more traditional build for a Mai Tai, so it's not going to be as crazy as the other ones. And back in the day, when the Mai Tai was first created, Vic Bergeron used a 17-year Wray and Nephew. Purportedly, the Mai Tai became so popular that they literally drank through all the stock of the 17-year Wray and Nephew, and it was discontinued by the company. I think there's one bottle at auction for like $55,000 now. But a lot of the, you know, respecking of the Mai Tai is bartenders trying to recreate the complexity of that rum. What is interesting about the Martin Cate version is you would think that a guy like Martin Cate would do that, and yet he didn't. He just picked one rum. He didn't do a rum blend. All the other ones that we did today are these like rum blends, all these different spirits. And I think that he's playing around with the orgeat and the sugar content in this cocktail, so I think that it's going to be fantastically balanced, but it's much more traditional in that we're only just using one spirit here. Full disclosure before I get into all this, Smugglers Cove has their own orgeat, and they have their own Mai Tai Rich Demerara simple syrup. I'm gonna put recipes for everything below in this one because of this. This orgeat, it actually, when you read it on paper, it seems like a real pain in the ass to make, but it's super easy and super fast. And it is also a 2-to-1 ratio of almond milk to sugar, just FYI. Just so you know, if you wanna make this, you're gonna have to make these particular ones. Half an ounce of our orgeat, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1/4 of an ounce of our rich Mai Tai Demerara simple syrup, half an ounce of Curacao, 2 ounces of Merchant's Reserve, which is what the preferred rum is at Smugglers Cove for this. Scotia. What is that noise? Is that a plane?
A chopper. Get to the chopper. Just a news helicopter
Oh,
hovering
it's
around.
just like hovering. Then we're gonna dump into our glass, add in our pebble, like so. Super traditional, simple garnish. The spent lime, crush, 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 slappy, slappy, slappy poo, crush, crush, crushy pants. Very twisty, turny mint today. God damn, that is a good Mai Tai. Oh my freaking God. So rich, so flavorful. The combination of the orgeat and of this rich Demerara simple syrup is amazing. It's just so vibrant. You get all of those nice molassesy notes that you get from Demerara simple syrup. Obviously, you can taste the almond in there, and you get that sort of marzipan feel. It's very, very, very flavorful. And I gotta tell you, after today, this is the first time I was using the Denizen's Merchant Reserve. After today, it is one of my absolute favorite aged rums. It is so, so good. You know what is fantastic about this cocktail? You know what really makes this cocktail a standout? That it uses less ingredients and less of a rum blend, and it is so flavorful. It is just as complex as the other ones as well, using one rum. Like I said in the beginning when I said this Mai Tai is gonna be all about these syrups. This is what really makes it, but I gotta say that the rum choice is fantastic as well. The question is which one is the best one? And it's a toss-up between the Smugglers Cove, just because I'm just like vibing out on the simplicity of this drink, or the Maison Premier. But I think what makes the Maison Premier the winner is that the blackstrap rum. So I think it will go Maison Premier, Garrett Richard, Smugglers Cove, and then the Nomad. But I gotta say that they're all fantastic anyway. So like they all take the #1 spot. Like we're splitting hairs because they're all so good. I think it's time to end this video. There are these Italian, I always say this, but there's these Italian cookies that I had when I was a kid that had like a almond paste on the inside of it. And that is exactly what this smells like. And so this Mai Tai is gonna be a little bit on the sweeter side. Like there's a little bit more sweet that's balancing out the citrus. Some Mai Tai recipes are really they kind of cheat toward the tart with the lime and then like low in sugar. But this, I think, I mean, I'm gonna have to just taste
Does it smell like those, what is it, the bear claws, whatever? That's got that almond.
like a bear claw, yeah, exactly like a bear claw. New Orleans style oyster bar and cocktail bar. It is a new, look at this thing.
It's a lot of ice.
Ton of ice that froze. Yeah, it's been in there for a minute, I guess.
It's got a cylinder.
It's a,
Is it like a solid cylinder in there?
yeah, it's like a solid cylinder. That's so crazy.
On a side note, do you
It's
pronounce
hard to pick a winner.
Do you pronounce the L in almonds?
Almonds?
Yeah. Do you say is it
Almonds? I don't
Just
say
say-
almonds. I say almonds. I kind of pronounce it.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
What do you? How do you pronounce it? Almonds?
Almonds,
Almond?
maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Almonds?
Is it like salmon? You're not supposed to say the
Salmon.
L.
Well, even in salmon, you are saying the L a little bit because if it was salmon or salmon, it's like you're still pronouncing it a very little bit. It's the same thing as almonds. Almonds. I do pronounce it. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right though, because I get busted on pronunciation all the time. For this particular recipe, they didn't call out any specific brands, which I always appreciate when a restaurant or a bartender does. So I just kind of equated all of the different categories with my own stuff. So it's really up to you what you want to use. Obviously, I'll be taking you this flavor profile,
But on the other hand, if they do say what they use, then you can make exactly the same. Now you will never know. If you can make the same.
yeah, that's true. And with rum, that actually does create a little bit of a conundrum of whether you're doing it faithfully, because no two aged rums taste alike. A lot of aged rum. So you're making kind of your own variation. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the brands that they use, so I'm just kind of equating it based on what I found for the recipe. But for instance, like, I don't know how many blackstrap rums that are on the market, but Cruzan is the most prevalent one, and so they probably use that. Also, Smith & Cross is used in so many different recipes. I would be surprised if they weren't using that for their overproof. The thing is that it didn't tell us whether it was aged overproof rum or like, it didn't tell us what, like, it didn't, there are two, okay, scratch that. They didn't tell us what overproof rum they use, and you can use something like Smith & Cross, right? But then also something like Rum Fire or Ray and Nephew are gonna hit the cocktail a little bit differently. So that's kind of where we're sort of kind of equating here. But I'm only using the information that I got. So we're making their style of Mai Tai, but it's not gonna be the exact thing, unfortunately.